Blood ties betrayed, the unthinkable affair. In the quiet suburb of Willow Creek, where manicured lawns hid the monotony of middle-class life, lived Emily Harper. At 34, she was the picture of domestic stability, married to Ryan for 8 years, mother to a rambunctious 6-year-old named Liam, and a part-time graphic designer who worked from home. Ryan was a good man, reliable, a sales manager at a mid-sized tech firm, the kind who remembered anniversaries and mowed the lawn every Saturday. But their marriage had settled into a rhythm as predictable as the cul-de-sac's garbage pickup. Sex was scheduled around Liam's bedtime, conversations revolved around bills and school pickups, and Emily felt like she was slowly fading into the wallpaper of her own life. It started small, as these things often do. Emily volunteered at the local community center, helping with after-school programs for kids. That's where she met Harold, Mr. Wilkins to the children. He was 68, a retired accountant who'd lost his wife to cancer 5 years earlier. With his wire-rimmed glasses, cardigan sweaters, and a gentle, grandfatherly demeanor, Harold was the last person anyone would suspect of anything scandalous. He led the chess club, baked oatmeal cookies for the kids, and shared stories of his days auditing Fortune 500 companies. Nobody expected the quiet widower to be anything but harmless. Emily first noticed him during a rainy afternoon when Liam's class was canceled. She lingered in the center's library nook, sketching logos on her tablet while Harold organized bookshelves. "You have an artist's eye," he said, peering over her shoulder with a warm smile. It was innocuous, but his voice, soft, attentive, stirred something in her she'd forgotten existed. Ryan hadn't complimented her work in months. He was too buried in spreadsheets. Over weeks, their chats grew longer. Harold listened, really listened, as Emily vented about the isolation of motherhood and the spark that had dimmed in her marriage. He shared his own losses, his regrets about not traveling more with his late wife. One day, after a particularly draining argument with Ryan over forgotten groceries, Emily found herself at the center late, tears in her eyes. Harold offered tea in his small office, a cluttered room filled with yellowed ledgers and faded photos. "You're more than this," he whispered, his hand brushing hers. The touch was electric, forbidden. She pulled away, but the seed was planted. The affair unfolded in stolen moments, as realistic and messy as real life gets. They'd meet in Harold's modest bungalow 2 blocks away, during Liam's nap times or when Ryan worked late. It wasn't passionate fireworks. It was tender, almost nostalgic. Harold's age made everything slower, more deliberate. Kisses that lingered, conversations that wove through the physical. He made her feel seen, young again, desired in a way Ryan's routine affection couldn't match. "You're my second chance," Harold murmured once, his arthritic fingers tracing her back. Emily felt guilty, of course, sneaking texts under the dinner table, fabricating errands. But the thrill outweighed it. Who would ever suspect? Harold was the kindly old man who waved from his porch, the one who fixed neighbors' taxes for free. Ryan grew distant, sensing something off but chalking it up to Emily's moods. He suggested counseling, but she brushed it off. Meanwhile, Harold's health began to falter, shortness of breath, dizzy spells. Emily worried, researching symptoms online late at night. One evening, as they lay in his bed, the faded quilt smelling of mothballs, Harold confessed, "I have a heart condition. Pills keep it in check, but time's short." It added urgency, making their trysts feel like borrowed time. The turning point came on a crisp autumn afternoon. Emily had slipped away, telling Ryan she was grocery shopping. At Harold's, things heated up quickly, his hands steadier than usual, fueled by a new prescription. But midway through, a sharp pain seized his chest. He gasped, clutching his arm. Panic surged through Emily as she fumbled for her phone, dialing 911. "Stay with me," she begged, her voice breaking. Paramedics arrived, sirens blaring through the quiet street. Neighbors gathered, whispering. Ryan, alerted by a frantic call from Emily, rushed to the hospital. There, in the sterile waiting room, the truth unraveled. Emily confessed everything through sobs. The loneliness, the affair, the unexpected pull to this unassuming man. Ryan's face crumpled, betrayal etching lines deeper than years could. With him? The old guy down the street? He stammered, disbelief mixing with hurt. Harold survived the heart attack barely. As he recovered, Emily visited, guilt twisting like a knife. But then came the plot twist, the kind that shatters realities. During a routine checkup, doctors ran blood tests for compatibility in case of transplant needs. Harold, ever the organizer, had his medical history on file. Emily glanced at it while he dozed and froze. The birth date, the rare blood type, the faded photo of a young woman in the file. It matched her mother's old albums. Digging deeper, Emily confronted her aging mother that night. "Who is my real father?" The confession poured out. 35 years ago, her mother had a brief fling with a young accountant named Harold Wilkins, right before marrying Emily's presumed dad. He'd moved away, unaware of the pregnancy. Emily's father had raised her, but biologically, Harold was her father. The revelation hit like a freight train. Their affair, innocent in intent but intimate in ways now horrifying, had been unwitting incest. Harold, upon learning, suffered another episode, his frail heart giving out for good. Emily's world imploded. Ryan filed for divorce, taking Liam in the custody battle, citing her instability. She was left alone in the empty house, staring at old photos, the quiet suburb now a prison of secrets. What started as a search for spark ended in ashes, proving that sometimes the most unexpected betrayals come from the blood in your veins.